the meeting back to order and give the floor to Ms. Taylor here.
First of all, the reason I filed a grievance in the first place. On August 9th, I was called into Dr. Winningham's office. Basically, I was told that I have let the state know, or that I had someone else to let the state know, that we have a bookkeeping position that was at a 20-80 split, that we were paying the full 100% of her salary. And I tried to tell him, no, I didn't. I've been accused of going from school to school, keeping it going, keeping stuff stirred, that I don't use my resources. I'm talked down to. I am basically bullied and intimidated. There are things that have to be turned into the state, and I'm going to turn it in truthfully. I've given you a packet. First thing you see here is an email. This was what he was waving at. And I said, I know what that is. That's an email from Teresa Richardson. But that's where he was saying I was keeping this going. The next page is the school nutrition bookkeeping insurance coordinator handout. This is the one that he gave me that day. He said that since I was keeping this going about the 80-20 split, that we're going to make sure she only does 20%. And these are the list of duties, and at the time I wasn't told which ones were mine, but Teresa Richardson came and told me. The next day, which was on the 10th, that's when Teresa Richardson came in and told me which ones were mine, and she gave me the receipts and so forth. Said we'd go over showing me how to process them. That's when I called Josh Trent on August 10th. And anyway, it took him a while to get this put together. Submitted this on August the 27th. It was rejected, as you can see on the next page. This one says, sincerely, Melissa Savage, Dr. Donnie Holman. And this one was pretty much kicked out because I was not a teacher, I'm a supervisor. The next one, Josh reworded it a little bit, and he took out the MOU language. And he included some Tennessee codes annotated there. And that was resubmitted on August 30th. And if you'll go on, you'll have an email there, August 31st, from Dr. Winningham saying that 3 of those duties was now taken off. This is, and on the next page, this is the list of duties that Teresa Richardson came and gave me that day. She has the 3 circled there. Those were the 3 that were taken away, but then the 6 she told me remained, and she told me that that was per Mark's instructions. She even put some little notes there on the side. But anyway, 1 through 6 is still mine. She explained to me that Mark would be her supervisor now so that I don't sign her timesheet. But we would go over that later. The next email is where Teresa Richardson emailed the managers telling them that these duties were now hers. The next letter that you see there is where Melissa Savage, sent me notification, and again, Dr. Holman, that everybody, all parties have been consulted, and they said I had no grounds. The next page is the agreement to administer the school nutrition programs. This, if you'll leaf through it, there's signatures there, mine, Dr. Winningham's, Mike Gilpatrick, where we agree that we are going to administer the school nutrition program. The next page is our meal patterns. When you sign that agreement, that means you are going to follow this meal pattern. If you do not do it, then you're not going to be reimbursed. You go to the next page. This is a screenshot of where I went and watched a webinar, and it explained the administrative review. I'm out of time.
Then the next person will be Chuck Cagle.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Charles Cagle. I serve as the legal counsel of this board. I've reviewed the file on this matter. I understand that my time is limited to 5 minutes as well, pursuant to board policy. The policy and the presentation that you've heard here leaves me with a little bit of a question about why we're here. Why are we here? The school food service director and the Overton County School Board and the Overton County School System works for the director of schools. There's no question about that. That's statutory. And it's my understanding from reviewing this file, that Dr. Winningham told this employee that prior to making any report to the state about any alleged wrongdoing, and we need to underline the word alleged, any alleged wrongdoing, that should be called to the attention of the school system, because the school system needs to be allowed to fix its own errors. And this employee disagrees with that, and is instead trying to argue that she can be insubordinate and yet hide behind a group of laws. Well, the definition of insubordinate under the statute means refusal or continued failure to obey the school laws of the state, to comply with the rules and regulations of the board, and this is the important part, or to carry out specific assignments made by the board, the director of schools, or the principal, each acting within its own jurisdiction. The director of schools has the statutory duty to operate the school system on a day-to-day basis. That does not fall to this board. So, in essence, what you've heard here tonight is an issue of internal management over which this board has no jurisdiction. That's left to the director of schools. Finally, Dr. Winningham has given this employee a direct order, which is legal. If you sense that something is going wrong or amiss with the operation of the school food service accounts, then call that to our attention. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. If Dr. Winningham then doesn't fix it, then we've got a problem. We've got a problem. But ladies and gentlemen, as we sit here tonight, there is no problem. This is all theoretical. This is all theoretical. So I would urge this board to dismiss this grievance, uphold the determination of the grievance coordinators, and instruct Dr. Winningham to operate the school system legally, and that includes giving the employees who work for him proper orders in order to operate the school system. Thank you very much.
So at this time, I guess it will be the board who will determine whether we're going to uphold the hearing committee's decision.
Can I have 30 seconds to summarize?
to providing you a fair trailer, I'll give you the 30 seconds.
What I would like the harassment to stop. I would like to be able to do my job correctly. I would like support. I would also like a full-time bookkeeper for the 100% that's in our budget.
Okay, now. Okay. We'll do a roll call vote on whether it's the board decision to uphold the committee with, Dr. Holman and Melissa Savage, or. Okay, so we'll have a roll call vote on that.
Mike Sullivan,
I vote to uphold the committee's decision. I don't want it yes or no, I'm for the committee.
Howard Miller,
Uphold.
William Abston,
Uphold.
Dr. Diane Sadler, Mike Gilpatrick,
Uphold.
Dolphus Dial,
I have a question. Is it possible that, Ms. Taylor and Mark Winham get together, get this problem worked out?
Well, that was what would have happened before, and this is
I
an
know.
appeal to the board now.
I know.
So we have to vote on whether to uphold the decision of the committee or,
But that question never has been asked. And I want to treat both sides fairly. And I make a decision, might affect her life, might affect his. I just want to know if these two can get together and get it worked out. That's basically what Mr. Cagle said.
I don't want to, in a parliamentary situation like this, I don't want to interfere with the vote. Go ahead and take the vote and I'll respond to the question.
okay?
How's that?
I'll have a question after the vote. too.
I didn't hear what you said.
If, I don't want to interfere with the taking of a vote. It's not proper parliamentary procedure to answer a question in the middle of a roll call. I'll be happy to respond to that once the vote is taken. Your question and Mr. Mason.
I had my question.
Well,
after
he
the-
will
after the
answer
vote,
your
you can
question
do the
after the vote.
question.
So, you, I guess what I'm asking is your vote on the thing? Uphold. Okay.
Larry Luper,
Uphold.
Ricky Dodson,
Uphold.
Mike Hayes,
Uphold.
9-4, 0 opposed.
And then Mr. Cagle can answer the questions.
Mr. Chairman, based on what we've heard here tonight, Mr. Dial, that is the only solution we have, is for the school food service director and the director of schools to get together and iron out this problem. So far, as I stated in what I said earlier, so far, this board's not been presented a problem over which it has any jurisdiction. Now, if there's an allegation of harassment, we need to see that. And the board needs to understand that the conversation between Dr. Winningham and the school food service director was taken. So we have that evidence. We've chosen not to play it here tonight, but we have that evidence. It was taped. And I've heard it. I don't think there's any evidence of harassment there at all, but that's neither here nor there. We didn't put it on. The only solution remaining is for Dr. Winningham, the director of schools, and for the school food service director to get together and try to work out the problem. Because that's the day-to-day management of the school system.
That's all I was asking, if they work together, get the problem resolved.
Yeah, and I'd just like to make the recommendation, obviously you made the great point, we have no jurisdiction when it comes to personnel, that's up to the director. But, in our policy, it does say that, the director provides the feedback and all that, but in cases where there's a grievance against the director, it doesn't go any further than that. So, one, I'd like to see our policy committee take that policy and go back and add the assistant director in there, to kind of step in where it needs to be. And possibly make the recommendation that Ms. Eldridge sit down with Ms. Taylor and Mr. Winningham, since she is the assistant director, and, come to some kind of agreement there, as well. So that's just my recommendation.
Mr. Cagle.
Yes.
So we,
Mr. Chairman, the Warren County case, Van Hooser versus Warren County Schools, allows a lawyer to take his or her client into executive session whenever there's a pending matter in litigation or a pending controversy. I will certify to the audience that the meeting that we're about to have, there will be no decisions made in that meeting. We're not allowed to make any decisions. The correspondence goes between me and the board, not among the board members. So we'll need to adjourn into a session where I can talk to the board about this controversy. You have any other business? I'll go ahead and adjourn.
okay. We're gonna go ahead and adjourn the meeting. We will, I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting and then we'll go. Motion made by Mike Kay, seconded by Howard Miller. All in favor?